Ladies and gentlemen, hello from the MLG studios here in New York City. My name is axeltoss. I am joined by axslav, and it is Monday, which means King of the Hill. We're currently watching some Heart of the Storm King of the Hill action here in MLG Heart of the Storm exhibitions. And TT1 came into today with the 5-game winning streak, defeated Dragon, but then lost to TriniXY, Protoss player and Grandmaster, who's now currently the King of the Hill. This is how it works. You play King of the Hill, or you play a game, whoever wins stays, whoever loses gets out of here.
Sounds pretty fair.
Yeah, it's a nice little system. It's
we call it the Winners Club.
Yes, and it's very fun. I'm enjoying myself. Hopefully you're enjoying yourself.
I am.
Hopefully all of you are enjoying yourself. And again, if you're a pro player and you want to get involved in this, of course you're free to. Just join channel MLG in Heart of the Storm, and we'll see if we can make it happen. But right now, we're about to get into the next game as I ask the players if they're ready and tell them to pick the correct colors.
You know, I've been talking to a lot of Zergs lately, and there's a ton of Zergs who are complaining about the latest patch in Heart of the Storm. And they're saying that the Protoss makes Void Rays, and then they lose.
Void Rays are good.
Yeah,
we saw that in, where did we see that?
TT1 versus, is it Sasquatch, or was it?
Glon?
Glon. It was Glon, that's what it was. And yeah, a lot of Zergs are complaining about Void Rays. And when you think about it, so the new Void Rays dominate Corruptors. Like, Void Rays versus Corruptor used to be a fairly even battle with a slight edge of Void Rays, but then Zerg can usually outproduce you, so it was fairly kind of even. But now it's just Void Rays dominate Corruptors. There's no, Corruptors have no chance. So what are the other Zerg options? The Infestors were the other main counters in Void Rays. And you know, I don't know why they don't, I mean, they're a little weaker, but
Colossi,
you think...
I killed them.
Well, that's true, but in mixed composition, I mean, Protoss aren't really making Colossi so much anymore.
I think they could. Couldn't they?
They could, but that's a lot less Void Rays, and they need Storm. And
sure.
So, I mean, a couple Infestors.
I mean, feedbacks from high tempo. It's very tricky,
yeah.
but go on.
So, but you can't mass Infestors anymore, right? Because Infested Terrans are weaker. They don't get the upgrades.
Yep.
The fungal growth does less damage. I don't think the projectile affects it too much against Void Rays because they're not particularly fast, and it gets that extra range to kind of balance it out. But the basic idea is you can't win with just pure Infestors anymore. So you can't use pure Infestor, you can't use Corruptor. Hydroists are okay, except, you know, like you mentioned, if Colossi come out in numbers, or Storm. Yeah, especially with Time Warp. Or even, to be honest, as Void Rays scale up, they actually beat Hydroists. So...
yeah.
I mean, like, you don't even need Storm or Colossi. You need a couple Force Fields, and you'll beat Hydroists and Void Rays. That was true in Wings of Liberty, too. Void Rays actually would beat Hydroists once you get a decent number of them. So, Hydroists don't work. And so Zerg players say they can't win.
What do you suggest, Mr. axslav? You can't just be saying all this stuff and not give us an answer.
I haven't figured out why Zerg players don't make a lot of Queens. And the thing is all Zerg players say, now we just rush Ultras, because you get a bunch of Ultras out, you kill Protoss. Because Ultras kind of beat everything now. They kill Zealots extra fast. Everything on the ground anyways. And so I'm like, well, if you're getting a lot of Ultras anyway, they're pretty gas intensive. Why don't you just make a whole bunch of Queens wagging up to there?
Queens are good still.
Yeah, and you can use Nidus to, like, let's say you want to attack a base on the right side, you just put a Nidus there.
Yeah.
And then you can easily retreat. The Queens can move around fast because you have creep. I don't know. I haven't seen many Zergs experiment with the significant numbers of Queens.
You should make a Reddit post, title it Zergs, this is what you do, and then write all that up in a little bit of a blog type thing. I would upload that.
I could. Maybe I should.
Though you'll get people downvoting you.
Perhaps. Well, yes. I mean, no one wants to... You know, the grass is always greener on the other side of the fence, right? So, you know, I can say, oh, it's easy to make Queens. They can say it's easy to make Void Rays.
Sure. As long as your argument is presented thoughtfully, logically, concisely, and it has a TLDR in it, then I think you're good.
You know, I mean, this is even something I wonder why people that use Niduses to move around Queens and Infestors with their late game army Wings of Liberty.
You should discuss this in a Rules of Engagement episode.
Yeah, perhaps I should.
Is that coming up next at 7 p.m. Eastern on MajorLeagueGaming.com?
It is.
Oh.
It is.
Huh.
And you know what? There's some good players being talked about. There's got a replay with Flash.
Wow.
DRG, Crank, Roro, Hero, Scarlet. Some good people on Rules of Engagement, man. Some good players.
Speaking of players, we never actually introduced, or officially introduced,
I should say, our new Zerg player.
Yeah, the Zerg player is actually Blade, the blue Zerg, who's going to be the challenger to TriniXY.
Swingblade?
So we got the 51 Grandmaster. I think we saw?
Yes. Currently ranked 51.
And of course, TriniXY is our defending king, who is currently on the throne. And he was, I forgot his rank. He's up there, obviously, so considering how well he's been playing.
I'm trying to figure out what the idea is behind. So he did a gateway expansion. I like that.
Okay.
Because I just like gateways. Because they make zealots. Zealots are pretty cool.
Yep.
I'm wondering if he's going to use these 2 zealots to try to slow down the third of the Zerg. If he sends them right now, he can get there before the creeps out there. So if the Zerg sends a queen, the zealots can chop that up. It would force a good number of Zerglings. Maybe wait for a 3rd zealot and then go.
And the Mothership Core right when this Cyber Core finishes?
Yes. I mean, the Mothership Core won't really, it's a little slower, but it can join in the attack level later.
It's faster than a zealot, isn't it?
It's slower.
Oh.
It's the same speed as a battlecruiser or a High Templar.
Oh, I thought it was faster than that.
No, it's pretty slow. Unless they changed it. I believe it was 1.88, same as all those. There's like a whole bunch of units that are all the same speed, like Thor, Templar, BC. They're all kind of in the same zone. But the thing is, if these zealots can chop up the queen at the 3rd base, then all of a sudden, well, now the creep's there, so they're not going to quite beat the creep. But with 3 zealots, you might better corner the queen, force it off the creep, then chop it up. But wait, Blade's not even. Where's his queen there?
I don't think he sent one up there.
Oh, he's just building one. Interesting.
Yeah. It's pretty safe. Maybe he.
Yeah, because he got the gas early, so that's why he cut his queen production, which makes sense because he wanted to get speed because he was afraid of some shenanigans. The zealots just check on the hatchery and leave.
Yeah.
I guess that I don't mind
what damage
that.
are they gonna do there?
Yeah. I mean, the idea, it's funny because you have to take a guess on if your opponent, how they'll react, right? Some opponents will assume you'll leave, and so they won't even build Zerglings. I've actually seen games where Zerg built 2 Zerglings, never more than that, and the Protoss did this move, and they just left and they were building up the drones. But this time he did build Zerglings, he did corner the Zealots, take them out, and Blade's Zerglings are probably licking their chops right now after a delicious meal.
Now, I have a few thoughts about that engagement there. Now, speed was about 70% of the way down, and Blade was doing an excellent job preventing the Zealots from leaving. So, if he had waited for speed, he could have killed the Zealots with fewer Ling losses. But then he would have revealed that speed was almost done, or that he got speed a little bit earlier, because Blade, or I should say TriniXY, never scouted this gas. So, do you think that's why he didn't wait for speed to kill the Zealots?
I think so. He also, I mean, he did get a pretty decent surround. So, I mean, speed maybe would have saved like 1 Zergling or something. Like, it wouldn't have made a, it would have helped. It wouldn't have been a huge difference.
Right.
So I kind of like what he did there because, of course, I mean, just them not knowing you have speed might mean he was out with like 3 sentries and 3 zealots, and then you just kill him with speedlings, right? And that would give you a huge advantage. Or there could be all kinds of things that would give you an advantage. I mean, now of course. Blade knows he's not going for like the sentry push just because he's hitting the Stargate.
He actually lost a couple overloads.
He did, yeah.
And look at this, TriniXY is just not going to stop making them, even getting a +1 air upgrade there.
So this is going to be a 2 base. Oh, this is, you know what? Sorry, every time I see Purse, I mentioned how it looked like a genius build that TT1 was doing against Dragon.
Yeah.
This is looking exactly like a genius build too. Everyone, when it's a new game, they revert to the genius builds. Of course, Genius, a great player from Korea, he loves the 8-gate Void Ray all-in against Zerg off 2 bases. Very, very sentry heavy, use force fields to isolate the units, and Void Rays do great work. And this has got to be nothing but stronger in Heart of the Swarm.
Is this the immortal all-in of Wings of Liberty? We're going to find out here because, you know, it's the same basic idea. Lots of sentries incorporating a higher tech unit that you get a few of. In this case, the Void Ray with an upgrade. He's got the +1 air upgrade. He's got the +1 ground upgrade on the way as well. So we'll have to see what Blade does to defend against this. He already has Hydras in production. Is that the correct answer?
I think Hydras are going to do great. I don't really like the +1 air upgrade, to be honest. If you think about it, the air upgrade doesn't actually help Void Rays all that much. And if he's doing it all in, it's not like he's going to be making Void Rays throughout the whole game. He's going to make like 5. This is the 5th one coming out, and that's going to be it. He's going to do an all-in attack. He's either going to win or he's going to lose. And that air upgrade could have been an extra sentry, which I think would probably help a little bit more. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. There's definitely a possibility. But the Void Rays, all their damage is from the activated ability, and I don't think the upgrade affects that.
All right, you know, TriniXY is already getting pylons across the field. Blade hasn't been doing anything to try to prevent this from happening. I don't even know if he's able to do that.
He's getting a lot of queens, though.
He's getting a lot of spores too, which I kind of like as well. Anything to help with those Void Rays, but here comes TriniXY forward with the Zealots, Sentries, and Void Rays. One shot taken at the Void Ray. Blade trying to get himself a nice little concave here. Has a lot of Zerglings and Hydras. He's going to go for it. He's going to try to engage this army. Only 2 Void Rays are here. There's one in the back. Actually, there's 4 Void Rays there, excuse me. But Blade doing a decent amount of damage here with the Queens and the Hydras. Force Shield's pretty good. A couple Hydras getting trapped there. Every single unit is so important at this point in time. And I think Blade might just straight up have enough here.
I don't know, he lost a lot of guys that engage him, but he does have these Spore Crawlers. He's getting more and more units.
Yeah.
And on creep, these Hydras are so powerful.
Yeah, of course he can kite back the weakened ones if he so pleases, assuming the Sentries don't get perfect Force Shields, but those are pretty much perfect there from a TriniXY, which means the Zealot's going to have a field day against those Hydras. Void Rays targeting down the Spores and the Queens here, and TriniXY only at 97 supply compared. Actually, they're pretty even on supply, but TriniXY, again, the shields come back on these units. Void Rays continuing to reinforce, and Blade is having trouble coming up with an answer.
He is, you know, it's like, I mean, didn't I mention it before that Void Rays with Force Field Speed Hydra, that's proving here yet again. I think he just needed maybe Roaches. I think Roaches would have been great against this. Roaches and Queens. I mean, the Voiders weren't even a problem, to be fair.
Yeah, the Zealots just got up close and personal.
Zealots, yeah, the Zealots, I mean, Hydras have not actually received a buff in combat. And
they're just a little bit faster.
I think one of the mistakes a lot of people are making here, and this game illustrates it, is that...
Is thinking the Hydras are good?
Yeah, they do. And it's like, Hydras, before, everyone thinks Hydras are bad because they were slow. And like, yeah, that was a disadvantage of them, but that wasn't their key weakness. Their key weakness is that their stats were low enough that they lost every other unit.
Yeah.
So, a great little build there by TriniXY. You know, Blade tried to Hydralist, and they just did lose the gateway units. It's that simple.
Yeah.
You gotta get, maybe it was Roaches in front of him, but even then, you just rather have a couple infestors or, you know, tech your way up to Hive, I feel.
Yeah, it's
Queens.
Interesting response there from Blade. Obviously didn't work out too well, but TriniXY, that's his 2nd win in a row, taking out TT1, now taking out Blade. If you want to challenge him and you're a high GM or you are a pro player, head on over to channel MLG on Heart of the Swarm, and we'll see if we can get you involved. Of course, TriniXY currently on a 2-game winning streak, working on 3. We'll be back with his attempt at a 3-game winning streak after a quick break